Hello, everybody. I hope you all are doing well. Welcome back to the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. Meow! Something has happened, so let's proceed. Oh, what was that? What guy? Uh-oh, something. What is going on? What was that? Oh no! What guy is tangled up in your violin? I think he thinks it's a toy. No, what is he doing? Oh dear, Mr. Sholmes pressed his violin. Why should I care? What? I shouldn't be surprised. If the cat is a more accomplished musician now than I. Oh, well, that was very sad. Mr. Sholmes really is in poor spirits, isn't he? Well, anyway, I'll put it back where it lives. Shall I, Hurley? I'll catch reach, if possible. Maybe we should assess the damage. Is that it right there? It looks alright to me. Is this the violin? Is this the violin, is it? Stradivarius, one of the finest violins in the world, made by the renowned Italian luthier Antonio Stradivari. Oh, I see. It doesn't really look anything special to me. I happened upon it, covered in dust, languishing in a pawn shop down a nondescript back alley. The broker had no idea of its value, so I was able to purchase it for a mere 55 shillings. How honorable of you. And until today, it has been my faithful companion in every great Paganini-inspired performance I have made. Ask you, is there a reason to live in a world devoid of music to tolerate this blank's existence? There is none. Mr. Sholmes? What, dear madam, what? My thoughts are preoccupied with fancies of release from the dull routine. Well, it's about the violin. It looks very different to normal, don't you think? Hmm? What do you mean, Mr. Sato? Oh, Susie's right! Yes, the tone of wood is completely different. And that's not all. I'm sure there was no crack here before. Wait, it's not even the right size, is it? What's this? I'm very sorry to have to tell you this, Mr. Sholmes, but that instrument isn't a violin at all. What? Then what? Wait, what is it then? I believe it's an entirely different instrument called a viola. Really? What? He's just falling to the ground. Oh, Mr. Sholmes, are you alright? You're right. You're quite right. This isn't my faithful Stradivarius. So what pray is this piece of string flotsam? Not your faithful performing partner, then? Ah, I see what must have happened. You do, Iris. This is just a simple mix-up. It's not like Iris might be able to tell exactly what's happening if we ask her. Okay, all of this for the mystery of a violin. I have no idea where this day is going to take us. What do you mean by a mix-up, Iris? Well, you see, this viola, I mean, was at Windibanks until last week. At the pawnbrokers? Not Mr. Sholmes' beloved music partner? There is a proverb from the East with which you are no doubt familiar, my dear fellows. Always let a beloved child travel. Yes, indeed. So you sent your beloved violin to the pawnbrokers in the hope that it would experience personal growth? Oh, what a wonderful idea. That's not a wonderful idea. You just lost your violin. Last week I pawned my great Antilithostoke in order to release my precious instruments. But it would appear Mr. Windbreak mistakenly furnished me with this tawdry fiddle instead. Our ears cannot be deceived by the willow timbre of this piece of timber. No, but your every sense was deceived by the fact that it just had strings. Pshaw. A funny state of affairs it is. That's why I always say, Mr. Naruto, never trust a pawnbroker. They will try to fiddle you every time. Earlier you told us that you could think of a pawnbrokery as an extraordinarily secure vault. Come, Mr. Naruto. Dilly-dallying will get you nowhere. Sorry. Crunching your toast with that vacant aspect, freshing your coffee obtusely. Are you not a little embarrassed by your own conduct, considering the urgency in which we are faced? We must visit Mr. Winterbeck's brokery at once. That's right, isn't it, Mr. Sholmes? Precisely, Mr. Sato, without a moment delay. But I haven't finished my bacon and eggs. My dear fellow, surely you do not still intend to crunch your bacon with an increasingly vacant aspect, to fresh your eggs ever more obtusely while he's back to normal. Alright, say no more. Let's go then. Don't worry, Ruder. I'll be happy to heat it up for you again later. Oh, thank you, Iris. As it happens, I'm rather curious to see what a British pawnbrokers look like. So, to the pawnbroker. Baker Street? Oh, what are we doing at the Baker Street? Bustling London Street, on which can be found in Mr. Sholmes' office. Alright, let's go here first. It's literally outside our door. I guess it's just here for examining, isn't it? I don't see any significance of any sorts. Baker Street. Store for rent. Pawnbrokery, right here. Oh, it's literally right here. Look at all the different things in the window of this shop. How did... For the past 2 months, you've never seen a pawnbroker's, which is not so far from where you live. Alright then. That's Winterbeck's, the pawnbrokery. It looks much smarter than the pawnbrokers in Japan, doesn't it? Yes, you're right. I find pawn shops at home rather inapproachable, personally. It reminds me of tearfully parting with my favorite fountain pen. I felt so miserable. What doesn't kill us makes us stronger, Mr. Naruto. Alright, I guess let's just head in there. It's my move. Alright, let's head into the pawnbrokery. Wow, this is a strange place indeed. Got a little Pinocchio doll and another doll. So this is a British pawnbrokery. Oh my, there are all sorts of tools and contraptions in here that I've never laid my eyes before. Susato-san, and that spark of wonder in her eyes. You can't wait to scour the shelves, can you? I get the impression you really enjoy places like this. Oh yes, I don't know why, but seeing such a lot of things I don't understand is a real thrill for me. My dear fellows, let's not forget why we're here. Oh, Mr. Sholmes. We're calling on matters of business, not pleasure. And clearly, Mr. Sholmes means business too, judging from the spark of fury in his eyes. Oh, Mr. Sholmes, sir, welcome back. Did you hear that brazen welcome? Oh, well, yes, we are potential customers after all. We are disgruntled customers, Mr. Naruto, and it's time to inform Mr. Winterbeck of our ire. Come, the fight is afoot. Okay, then. Oh, I don't want to move. Let's talk to this person. Naturally, you'll call this which I retrieved from you some days ago. Yes. This second-rate fiddle is not my faithful instrument, Mr. Winterbanks. The color of the wood is different. It has holes in it. It's not even the same size. A wonderful summary of our observation, Mr. Sholmes. I'm so very sorry, sir. Hardly unforgivable me, an inexcusable mistake for a pawnbroker. There was only one way to make amends. Oh, where's he going? He has a gun. He's running at us with a gun. No, no. I shall have to take my own life. I don't think that will be necessary, do you? If I may just say one thing before I pop off. Yes. It was you, sir, Mr. Sholmes, who took it upon himself to remove this item the other day, I believe. Sorry. As I recall, I went to the storeroom to fetch your violin when I heard, ah, there it is. You did? And when I turned to controvert you, you had taken the viola and left, sir. I mean, he literally lives down the street from you. Could have at least come and get him too. However, there can be no doubt that the blame lies firmly at my own door for allowing you to leave. I shall not grumble or grouse any longer. May this guilt die with me. No, stop, my dear fellow. This fault is mine. Phew. It would appear that the fight is over. I do humbly apologize, Mr. Winterbank. Evidently, my questionable disposition precipitated this tragedy. Well, you wouldn't be Herlock Sholmes without that questionable disposition now, would you? Aha, I do believe you may be right, sir. Either laugh or cry, I suppose. You are, it must be said, one of my more challenging customers. I needn't remind you of the peculiar collection of items you've brought through my door in the past. Oh, peculiar items? In the extreme manner, for example, the unpublished manuscript of an eponymous work, the novels of Herlock Sholmes or some such. Oh my, a new full-fledged novel? An unpublished? A story I've yet to read, you mean? Oh, forgive me. Wait, before you die, you must tell me more. She's gonna let him die. He's committing seppuku in his own way. I must know more. Tell me everything. Wow, Susato-san is really fired up now. Is there really an unpublished story under this very roof? Well, one day the gentleman, he brought it in an old metal chest, you see. I should like to entrust this to your care for a while, Mr. Winterbanks. Huh? Well, just like that, 1 shilling, sir. Not a further more. It houses something of very great value indeed. The latest manuscript recounting the adventures of Mr. Herlock Sholmes. I beg your pardon, a manuscript? You wish to deposit a manuscript? Indeed I do, for I am confident it will be quite safe here. This isn't a bank or a vault. What is? Why are you choosing a pawnbroker? And that was that. As such, Mr. Sholmes' latest tale of otherworldly mysteries lies dormant in my storeroom. Mr. Sholmes, is that really true? Do I sense that someone doesn't want to talk about this? I continue to pay your fee, do I not? Okay, he pays a fee. Then kindly continue to store my belongings securely. Of course, sir, of course. Now safe and sound with me, I assure you on my life. This is all very strange, and this is pretty bad imaging, to be quite honest. This might have not aged well. I wonder, could I ask you something? A gentleman from the east, I see. Yes, that sable suit, I suppose. I could offer you 6 pence for it. You're trying to buy the clothes off my back? Without it wishing to offend, the tone is somewhat dull. Sorry. Aha, but you splendid attire, madam. 5 guineas, no less. The colors are exquisite, the design exotic. Eastern artistry at its finest, may I say? Oh my, 5 guineas, you say? How interesting. I don't feel as though I've suffered some sort of defeat here. Actually, I was hoping to ask you about your business. I've heard it said that pawnbrokeries are used rather like banks here in London. Yes, sir, indeed. Many of customers utilize the establishment as you described. Oh, okay. This is something I don't understand then. I praise the items and offer them a proportionate loan and 2 months of secure storage. If then that time they repay the original sum to me plus the agreed interest, their items are happily returned. But what happens if they don't pay you the money? Then the items are offered for sale in my shop, as you can see on the shelves behind me. Oh, okay, so they get money, pay back the money, they pay the interest, they get the item back. Pawn wins. That's right, ma'am, that's right, which means some considerable responsibility rests on my shoulders. Should a customer precious belongings be lost, the only recompense is for me to end it all. Wow, that's some store policy. The very idea, Mr. Windibanks, is an absurdity. One should never talk of one's demise so casually, says the man who was telling us all it was a good day to die only this morning. Then let us not forget that I have already helped you take measures to ensure such a tragedy never occurs. Oh, what sort of measures? Engineered a simple device, which Mr. Windibanks has installed here in this shop. I call it the red-handed recorder. Is that not so, Mr. Windibanks? Ah! What was that deep sigh about? Oh, he doesn't think he likes it. What on earth is the red-handed recorder? Use your eyes, my dear fellow. There are two just below the ceiling. Just below the ceiling? Excuse me? Red-handed record... What? These are those trumpets I'm looking at. Oh, it's the cameras. I can see what happens to be... what appears to be a camera attached to some sort of timing device. I don't see it. Where the heck is it? I'm like blind here, apparently. Very astute. It is indeed a camera furnished with some 100 pieces of celluloid film. And every 30 minutes precisely, the camera automatically records the appearance of the shop. Oh, that'll be very interesting. Yep, tragedy is going to strike here very soon. Here, I have an example I can show you. Ah, yes, a print of the camera set to record then activity at the shop counter. I developed a special type of film so sensitive it produces a crystal clear image even in darkness. Really? That's extraordinary. Yes, you can clearly see the counter and the door behind it looks. You see, were someone to enter the premise with ill intent, his identity would have been summarily exposed. But did you not say the photographic prints were taken at 30-minute intervals? Indeed, as you say, my dear madam. Then what had the incident occurred in between times? One could only say that would be a cruel twist of fate. I must confess your devices have been giving me some cause for distress of late. I beg your pardon, Mr. Windibank. Surely they are anything but distressing. Reassuring is the word. It's the cost of the film, sir. You most graciously placed not one, but two cameras in my shop after all. Which means I must pay for nigh on 100 utterly useless prints every single day. I'm afraid the cost of the film will break me before I'm very much older. Oh, well, that is a problem indeed. Nevertheless, a small price to pay to ensure the safety of my preferred pawnbrokery, no? My dear fellows, we verge on an age where safety and security come at us. Oh, heavens help us. That's sadly very true. Now then, Mr. Sholmes, allow me to return your precious violin. Ah, the very thing. Thank you, Mr. Windibanks. Perhaps this might mark at the end of the peculiar item you try to pop. Because if anything were to happen to one of them, this would be the only answer. I really think you gotta stop waving that gun around. Someone could get hurt. Fear not. Sorry? I've only loaded it with a single bullet, so no one but myself could possibly be harmed. That's not really what I meant here. He's gonna die, isn't he? We're gonna have to solve a murder case for him because he left a single loaded gun, a single bullet gun. Good day to you then, Mr. Windibanks. It's been a pleasure as always, Mr. Sholmes. Ooh, I wonder what secrets are stored in the back room. So, Mr. Naruto, now we can explore at last. Okay, time to take a look around. Let's see, anything of specific interest here? There's a trumpet up here. There's got the calendar. April 15. That's not a calendar you could easily miss, is it? April 15. Today's date. Yes, it's not for sale, I must point out. It's an Easter-style page-a-day calendar. Every night at midnight, I tear off the front page to reveal the following day's date. The perfect calendar for a tearaway fellow such as yourself, Mr. Winterbanks. And who was it who walked out of here with the wrong violin before? Well, when the agreed storage period has passed without repayment, articles are forfeited, you see? So I have to keep a close eye on the date. It's important for a pawnbroker's obsession, you might say. Oh yes, I can see you're very dedicated to your job. So someone left dolls here and never came back for that. Okay. Let's see. Oh, what is this thing right here? Now, what do you suppose this rather enormous machine does? It seems to have a little window for looking through. Allow me to enlighten you, my dear fellows. What you are looking at is a stereoscope. A stereoscope. Fascinating. It is aptly named, I assure you. Look through the eyepieces and see for yourself. Oh, I should be delighted. Excuse me a moment while I just have a look. Just before you do, there's something I should point out. My dear fellows, in order to see the image properly, stereoscopically, as it were, you will need to be cross-eyed. However, if that is beyond you, it is of no consequence today. Alright then, I'm going to try it. Mr. Naruto, you must see. Oh, alright then. So I need to be cross-eyed. It's like I'm trying to look at my nose. Alright, what is this machine? Oh, it shows two images. What the? I don't believe it. It just says the photographic print. But it seems like you could reach out and touch it. Yes. The sense of depth is startling, is it not? Stereoscopes are one of London's many facts. They're often found in little shanks in the park. People queue for hours to see them. But why are people meddling with such black magic? It is no magic, my dear madam. It is, well, far too complicated to explain at the present. We shall save this lesson for another day. Oh. Oh, what is this stuff right here? What an assortment of things, what sort of things are on these shelves here? Crockery, footwear, clocks, and watches. Almost anything you can imagine. Those are forfeited items offered for sale by the pawnbroker. What does that really mean, though? When you pawn or colloquially pop an item, the broker loans you money against its worth. He stores the item for an agreed period of time, after which the loan must be repaid. If not, he is free to display it in his shop for sale, at a price of his choosing. Ah yes, now you've explained it. I'm noticing little price tags and everything. Of course, simply by paying the agreed interest on the loan, one can extend the period for safekeeping. So you may pawn that black card of yours without fear, my dear fellow. My treasured university uniform, never. It embodies my student spirit. Okay, someone's pretty attached to that. I remember there was like little pre-order bonus that I got for outfits for this game, but I can't use them until the next half of this game. What's this? Look at this. What can this lovely big shiny box be? That, my dear madam, is a music box. Surely you have such things in your own country. Oh my, yes, but I've certainly never seen one so large before. Shall we listen a while? Oh, that's sweet. What a sublime sound. It's like the music of angels. I never heard anything like it before in my life. This particular specimen of the larger variety commonly found in public houses and restaurants. There is a metal disc inside on which the tones can be played or are recorded. Simply by replacing the disc with another, any music you care to imagine can be played. My goodness, what a simply delightful machine. Indeed, though their popularity has waned recently within the development of a gramophone, of course. Science and technology advance at such an overwhelming pace. Anything else there that we can look around to see? Oh, we already talked to him, apparently. The dog. There's a picture of a dog here. There seems to be a little door hidden behind that curtain there. That leads to the storage room, where Mr. Winterbank keeps articles that are currently in pawn. Ah, I see. There's nothing in particular inside. I certainly wouldn't recommend you any larcenous activity. Recommend it or not, it's not something I tend to do. There's but one key, and Mr. Winterbank keeps it at his pockets at all times. Before he sleeps, he places it into a small pot, which he slides onto his pillow. How do you know this? How do you know about that, Mr. Holmes? I'm a detective, sir. It's my business to know what others do not. I'm frequently assailed by information that neither I care for nor wish to retain. Mr. Sholmes, you are a wonder. And the prime suspect of this pawnbrokery is ever burgled. Oh no. Let's see now. Anything else? Oh yeah, there's something here, it seems. Right? Oh yeah, there we go. We got to take a look at the desk. Look at that enormous ledger. Opens the counter there. Mr. Winterbank is for nothing else. Very particular about recording the items he accepts. He'd have to be otherwise. He'd get himself into all sorts of trouble. Which might explain the thing that catches my eye far more larger than the ledger. This revolver here. Do not entertain even a single thought of pilfering in an article herein, my dear fellow. Huh? I assure you, Mr. Winterbank would not hesitate to draw that weapon with the speed bailing his portly size. Oh, you don't mean he'd blow his brains out? Indeed, in recompense for his blunder. Oh my. But in any case, of course we would never do such a thing. How could you even suggest it? Decided for... I think that might be it. Can we move back? Yeah, I think we can go off now and begin... Oh, just go back to Mr. Sholmes' suite. Alright, before we do that, we're actually just going to stop this part here. So, thank you all so much for watching. Remember to like, comment, share, subscribe, and until then, I will see you all later. Goodbye.